Hello students, in the last video we have discussed the different types of diseases related to the sexual health. So we have discussed the viral diseases, then bacterial diseases, fungal, protozoan, etc. Hope all of you have understood. Now we are coming to the last part of the reproductive health, that is infertility and ART, assisted reproductive technologies. So first of all, let us see what is infertility. Infertility means it is inability or failure to conceive even after 1 to 2 years of unprotected sex. That means that couple, if the male and the female, they have some problems, they are not able to conceive a baby, then that condition is known as infertility. But very often we use infertility as sterility, but actually they are not synonymous. Why? Because infertility is just inability to conceive, but it doesn't mean that it is the complete failure. But sterility means it is the complete failure of the male or the female to produce even the gamete. That is sterility. But sterility does not mean infertility. Means in that infertility may be due to some condition they are not able to conceive, but just by some techniques and procedures or some treatments we can recover from that condition. Okay, so that condition is known as assisted reproductive technology or ART. In abbreviation we will call this is ART. So let us start with infertility. Infertility means failure to conceive even after 1 to 2 years of unprotected sex. This is called as infertility. Unprotected sex means that couple do not take any type of contraceptive method. So those contraceptive method, if they earlier used, but now they're not using, then after that also they're not getting the fertility back, then that condition is known as infertility. But yes, infertility is not sterility. So what is sterility? Sterility means it is the complete failure. It is the complete failure of producing even the gamete. But infertility means it is just inability to conceive, okay, which can be treated, but sterility cannot be treated. Okay, so first of all we'll see how many types of infertility we will have. See, infertility is of two types. Okay, one is primary and another is secondary. What is primary infertility? Primary infertility means it is a condition when the individual, they are not able to get, is the complete failure. That means in that primary infertility, what happened, those couples, they have never conceived, they do not have even the first baby. That is known as primary infertility. But secondary infertility means earlier they had a baby or earlier they conceived. That condition is known as the secondary infertility. So primary infertility means it is they have never conceived. They have never conceived and they are trying for the first baby. That will be primary infertility. But secondary infertility means they have prior conceived, but after that, suppose they are trying for the second baby, they are not able to get, then that condition is known as secondary infertility. Now to see what happened, once again let us see what is that. Infertility means it is the failure to conceive, okay, which can be reversible. Now that means we can have any treatment and after treating they can conceive. That is infertility. But sterility means it is the complete failure. That means even if they have been treated, they cannot conceive. So this will be complete failure. Remember, then only we can call that this condition is sterile condition or sterility. Now we will see that what are the conditions because of what the male and the female can have such type of conditions, infertility. First of all, just see in case of males. So in case of males, how many conditions can lead to infertility? First of all, it can be one condition already I have given, that is cryptorchidism. Cryptorchidism means it is the inability of the testes to descend and remain inside the abdomen, that is intra-abdominal, cannot become extra-abdominal. So that condition is a condition for infertility called cryptorchidism. I have given already in human reproduction diseases part. Second thing, that is hyperthermia. So what is hyperthermia? Hyperthermia means it is the extreme or high temperature of the scrotal chamber. So cryptorchidism is such a condition where actually the testes, if remain inside, the temperature of the body, internal body temperature, which is not ideal for the process of spermatogenesis. So in that case, the male will be sterile. So another case, that is hyperthermia. In that hyperthermia, what happens? The scrotum which have the testes, but then also it has the higher temperature because of what the process of spermatogenesis is not able to work. That condition is known as hyperthermia. Third condition, another conditions, lots of conditions can be there that may be, that include, suppose oligozoospermia or azoospermia. That means the semen contains less than 20 million of spermatozoa in one ejaculate. That condition is known as oligozoospermia. And if the semen do not contain any sperm, that condition is known as azoospermia. Next one, another case also be there, that is the semen contain very less fructose content. Okay, or maybe that semen have very high prostaglandin. Due to high prostaglandin, what will happen? Excessive contraction of the uterus will occur, and because of that also the spermatozoa will not able to work. So that is known as some causes because of what the male can be infertile. But yes, lots of techniques are available which can actually be treated, like cryptorchidism and hyperthermia. These two cannot be treated because it is a complete sterile condition. But yeah, it is in case of oligozoospermia. In azoospermia also it is not possible. In oligozoospermia, in high level of prostaglandin or low level of fructose condition, in that condition the male can be treated and the couple can get their fertility back. So these are some conditions of male infertility. Let us see some condition of female. So in female, what are the condition? Maybe anovulation. Anovulation means the female, whenever have the ovulation, maybe due to the hormonal imbalance or hormonal defects, the ovum cannot reach the site of fallopian tube, or maybe due to lack of or less LH content or GnRH from the hypothalamus, then also ovulation will not take place. So due to anovulation, obviously anovulation is a condition where the ovum will be not even produced. So in that condition, obviously the female will not able to conceive. Next condition, that irregularity or irregular structure of the female reproductive system. So in the female reproductive system, if the cervix region have excessive, suppose a little bit more length, if the uterus is not proper, if the fallopian tube is not properly can catch the ovum, so in that condition also maybe the female can be sterile. Or third condition also we can call that maybe due to hormonal control, due to the hormonal imbalance, actually the female can not conceive, suppose, and become infertile. It may be hypothalamic hormone, that is GnRH, and the next one is pituitary hormone, that is FSH and LH. And the third one also, that is also possible, that is ovarian own hormone, that is both the estrogen and progesterone. If any of the hormones they are not able to be released, or corpus luteum is not able to release the proper progesterone in a proper amount, or if the follicles, if even the primary follicle, they are also not able to, primary, secondary or Graafian follicle, they are not able to release estrogens, then also this condition will appear, that the proper functioning of the female reproductive system cannot work. So actually both the male and the female reproductive system will work only in the hormonal control. So if the hormones do not work, both in case of male and the female, due to the lack or less hormone secretion from the hypothalamus or from the pituitary as well as from testes and ovary, the male and the female can be infertile. So let's just start after that. What is ART? That means to treat with infertility, what we have. Now just see how many techniques can be available or treatments are available to treat with the condition infertility. That condition that will be known as ART, or assisted reproductive technology. So how many assisted reproductive technologies are available? See, I'm telling you the difference between ART and IVF. Okay. So first of all, IVF means in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization. So from that in vitro fertilization, you have to know what is the word vitro means. Vitro means artificial. If it is vivo, V-I-V-O, vivo, in vivo fertilization, suppose that this in vivo fertilization is the normal natural condition or process of fertilization, that is known as in vivo fertilization. In vivo fertilization, what happens? Normally the female, the partner, they conceive without the help of any another technology or treatment, that is in vivo fertilization, which naturally occur and the female get pregnant. So that is vivo or natural pregnancy. But sometimes what can happen due to the causes, last I have told what is the condition why a female can be infertile. So suppose the female is suffering from some of the condition or one of a condition, then they can go for in vitro fertilization. That means fertilization will occur, but in the it's not the normal condition. It will be in any of the laboratory condition where the male and the female gametes are induced to produce the zygote. That condition is known as in vitro fertilization. What happened in the in vitro fertilization? The male and the female gametes, they are taken in the laboratory dish. Suppose there is a petri dish. Suppose in a petri dish, the male and the female gametes are taken, and that male and the female gametes are given the condition, some treatments are given, and some due to some induced condition, the male and the female gamete fuse. Okay, and whenever it fuse, it produces the zygote. So that condition is known as in vitro fertilization or IVF. So actually to treat with infertility, Apart from IVF, there are number of treatments are available to treat infertility depending upon that individual's condition, physical condition. That is known as ART. So ART not only include IVF but some another type of treatments or conditions too. So what are they? Let's just see them. First of all, that is GIFT, gamete intra fallopian transfer. So in that condition, what happened? The male or the female, in both these conditions, suppose, first of all, we'll see in GIFT, what happened? The female is not able to produce the gamete. Suppose the ovum is not produced. The female is suffering from anovulation. In that condition, what is happening? From a donor, that means from a different female, the ovum is collected. Then that ovum will be introduced into the fallopian tube of the partner who wants to conceive. Okay, so that condition, that actually treatment, that is known as GIFT, gamete intra fallopian transfer. So in gamete intra-fallopian transfer, what happened? This is suppose the this is uterus here, this is the that oviduct or the fallopian tube. Now with the help of a very small or microscopic injection, the ovum from a donor, that means now she is not able to produce the gamete. The gamete will come from a donor. So any of the other female can donate the ovum, that will be known as a donor. So from a donor, the ovum will be placed inside the fallopian tube, and whenever it is implanted in the fallopian tube, then they can go for the normal suppose copulation or mating. Then after that, naturally that condition can be overcome. So that condition is known as GIFT or gamete intra-fallopian transfer. Now just see the next, another type of ART, assisted reproductive technology. Now after that, see, this is ICSI. ICSI, this is also known as Intracytoplasmic Sperm Injection. So in that condition, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, ICSI, what happened? That actually is a treatment for the male. If the male is suffering from low sperm count or that is oligospermia, that male is not able to produce enough number of sperm who can reach the site of fallopian tube and can fertilize the ovum. In that condition, what actually is the treatment? ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. In that, the first of all, semen is collected from the male partner. Then after that, the sperms, they are collected, separated. Then from that semen, that sperm is taken in a different, suppose petri dish, they are taken inside a micro injection. Then that spermatozoa directly will be introduced along with the ovum. So that condition is known as ICSI. That means now suppose this is the petri dish. In that petri dish, the ovum is there. Suppose this is the ovum. That means now here this ovum is present. Now with the help of an injection, the sperm that is directly injected. Okay, so that condition, this is a treatment for the male oligospermia. Okay, so in that condition, if the sperm count is very much low, then the process ICSI can be done. So before that, some other prior treatments are also should be there. That means now the ovum should complete the second meiosis, the polar body have to be formed. Then after that, from the ovum, from the sperm, the above layer, which is acrosome, so that acrosome above we have a glycosidic layer. Because of that, actually decapacitation reaction is occurring in the male reproductive system in the region of epididymis, which will be capacitated in the female tract. That will be overcome. First of all, those treatments have to be done. That means the sperm have to be capacitated, as well as the ovum. If it is possible that directly the nucleus of the sperm is injected into the ovum, then prior to that the ovum is allowed to undergo second meiosis. All of these things will be treated, and after that the treatment ICSI is done. Next one, see, that is ZIFT. ZIFT, what is the term? That means zygote intra-fallopian transfer. So in zygote intra-fallopian transfer, what happens? That the suppose female uterus condition is suppose not proper, or suppose male and the female gamete are produced by both the male and the female partners, but then also they are not able to conceive because the uterine environment is not suppose favorable for the process of fertilization, or suppose implantation have not done, or that blastomeres is not forming, then this type of treatment is available, that is zygote intra-fallopian transfer. Now in this condition, what happened? Once again, from the biological partners, that means from the male and the female, their own ovum and the sperm are taken. Okay, in that condition, it's not like ZIFT. In gamete intra-fallopian transfer, what happened? The female is not able to produce the gamete. But in ZIFT, zygote intra-fallopian transfer, now the female can produce the ovum and the male also can produce the sperm. They don't have any problem. But inside the uterus, the process of fertilization or cleavage or blastomere formation have not taken place. So in that condition, ZIFT is done. So in that condition, in the petri dish, first of all, male and the female gametes are taken. They are induced to undergo fertilization, and after fertilization, they will produce the zygote. Right after that, it will be not implanted in the uterus. It will let undergo the process of cleavage in the 8 blastomere stage. That means after third cleavage, suppose first cleavage, that will produce 2 cells. After second cleavage, 4 cells. After third cleavage, it is 8 cells. So in the 8 cell condition, in 8 blastomere condition, the female will be implanted. That means the female, suppose in this condition, with the help of another injection, the blastomere, the cluster of cell, or up to 8 cell stage, that will be directly implanted here in the uterine region. Obviously in that condition also they have to undergo some hormonal treatment. That means for the process of implantation, whatever the hormones are required, that will be prior to suppose ZIFT. That means prior to injecting the 8 blastomere, the female will be given all the hormonal injections, so that estrogen progesterone concentration will be properly managed, and then only that zygote up to 8 blastomere. Remember that point, that up to 8 blastomere that will be injected inside the uterus so that implantation process can be done. That is known as ZIFT. That is it. Now after that, next condition, that is AI, that is artificial. This is artificial insemination. Now what is artificial insemination? In that condition, the male may have erection problem or erectile dysfunction. In that condition, the male copulatory organ cannot deposit the male gamete into the female tract. So in that condition, the semen is collected from the male partner, and that semen is directly introduced inside the female tract, maybe in the cervix or in the vagina, that is known as artificial insemination. So this is not also a problem of the male and the female reproductive system in the formation of gamete. They can produce a gamete. The male also produce enough number of gamete in the semen, but that semen cannot be ejaculated. So if there are some ejaculatory problem or erectile dysfunction, then in that condition they can go for artificial insemination. So in that artificial insemination, semen is collected from the male partner. Then after that, it will be just introduced inside the female tract in the cervix or in the vagina. That is known as AI or artificial insemination. That is about AI. After that, let's just move to the last part, that is surrogacy. Now, what is surrogacy? Surrogacy means already you have seen a lot of newspapers in that where actually the celebrities are going for the process of surrogacy. Actually, what is that? Suppose the partners, male and the female, they can produce the gamete, but now the formation of gametes, they're producing not enough gamete, they're producing the gamete in a very low amount, or they are aged. So in that condition, suppose the female is also above 40, or maybe also it is possible that the uterine condition is not favorable for the implantation, or the female cannot go for a process of pregnancy, then they can go for a surrogate mother. That means from the male and the female partners, the ovum and the sperm are collected. In laboratory condition, they are undergoing the fertilization process. They will produce the zygote. Then after that, it produce, suppose some of the blastomeres, suppose up to 8 blastomere. Then after that, just it will be implanted into a different female. Then after that, in the different female, in a different other woman, suppose in that woman's body, the process of pregnancy will be started. So that mother who actually helped in implantation, where actually pregnancy process will be continued, that will be known as the surrogate mother. But that implanted blastomeres have the chromosomal pattern of the biological partners. That means the biological cells, the ovum and the sperm are taken from the partners, but it will be just implanted in the different woman or the surrogate woman, where just the process of embryogenesis will take place. So that condition, the whole process, that is known as surrogacy. So here in this surrogacy, just the implantation process, implantation and the embryonic development will occur in the uterus of a different female. In a different female, if the process of implantation or the pregnancy process is started, then that condition is known as surrogacy. So a lot of abbreviations are here for the assisted reproductive technology, like ICSI, ZIFT, GIFT, their full form, they're all needed. Okay, so I will give you some of the terms, some of the abbreviations which are needed from that chapter. That is all about the assisted reproductive technology. So this is the last part of the reproductive health chapter. Hope all of you have understood. That is all about the whole chapter also. That is about the reproductive health. Different things we have discussed from different sites. We have discussed all about the problems, then some causes, then after that diseases, STD, then after that we have discussed about the different type of methods of contraception. Then after that we have seen also ART, assisted reproductive technology. So that is all about the reproductive health chapter. We are going to complete the chapter that is all about reproductive health. Thank you.